Daehyun felt the room spin around him. One moment he was standing in the gravity training room, and the next moment his legs gave out. He hit the floor hard. His vision blurred. Someone was shouting his name, but the sound seemed far away. The ship's alarm started blaring. Red lights flashed across the walls. Daehyun tried to stand up, but his body would not listen. His muscles felt like water. He could hear footsteps running toward him. Many footsteps. Fast footsteps. Get the medic. Now, someone yelled. Daehyun recognized the voice. It was Hyunwoo, another human crew member who worked as the ship's navigator. Hyunwoo's face appeared above him, full of worry. Stay with me, friend. Help is coming. Within seconds, the medical team arrived. The lead medic was a Veltharian named Kix. Kix did not look like humans at all. His body was made of something that looked like living crystal. Light moved through him in strange patterns. His face had no mouth, but somehow he could speak. His voice sounded like wind chimes. Move aside, Kix said. His crystalline hands touched Daehyun's forehead. The touch felt cold but not unpleasant. His temperature is elevated. Heart rate is irregular. We need to move him to the medical bay immediately. 2 other medical assistants brought a floating stretcher. They lifted Daehyun onto it with care. The stretcher began moving down the corridor, and Daehyun watched the ceiling lights pass by overhead. Everything still felt strange and disconnected. The medical bay was bright and clean. Machines that Daehyun did not understand lined the walls. Kix guided the stretcher to a bed in the center of the room. The bed adjusted itself to fit Daehyun's body shape. Run a full diagnostic, Kix ordered his assistants. Check everything. I want to know what caused this collapse. Machines began scanning Daehyun's body. Blue light washed over him from head to toe. Numbers and symbols appeared on screens around the room. Kix studied them carefully, his crystalline form changing colors as he concentrated. Take a blood sample, Kix said. Standard procedure. One of the assistants brought a device that looked nothing like the needles Daehyun remembered from Earth. It touched his arm, and he felt a tiny pinch. The device filled with dark red blood. Kix placed the blood sample into a machine. The machine hummed and whirred. More numbers appeared on the screens. Then the machine made a sound Daehyun had never heard before. A warning sound. Kix moved closer to the screen. His entire body turned a deep purple color. In the weeks Daehyun had served on this ship, he had learned that purple meant the Veltharians were shocked or afraid. What is this? Kix whispered. His voice had lost its usual calm tone. This cannot be correct. The medic ran the test again. Then a third time. Each time the machine made the same warning sound. Each time Kix's purple color grew darker. Ensign Daehyun, Kix said slowly. He turned to face the human. His eyes, which were like faceted gems, fixed on Daehyun with an intensity that made the young man uncomfortable. I need you to answer a question honestly. Why is your DNA weaponized? Daehyun blinked. He was sure he had heard wrong. I'm sorry, what? Your DNA, Kix repeated. It has been weaponized, modified, turned into a biological defense system unlike anything I have seen in 30 years of medicine. Who did this to you? What military program are humans running? Daehyun tried to sit up, but his body still felt weak. I don't understand. I'm just a regular person. From Seoul. I work in engineering. Nobody weaponized anything. Kix gestured to the screen. Look at this. Your blood contains aggressive defensive proteins, cytotoxic compounds, self-replicating antibodies that attack any foreign substance with extreme prejudice. Your DNA carries instructions for chemical warfare at the cellular level. This is not natural biology. This is military-grade genetic engineering. But I've never been genetically modified, Daehyun insisted. I promise. I'm completely normal. Just a regular human. The words seemed to make Kix even more alarmed. His purple color shifted to something almost black. You claim this is normal? For humans? Yes, I think so. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I've never had any special treatments or modifications. Kix stepped back. He seemed to need a moment to process this information. Then he moved to his communication panel. I need to contact the captain immediately. Is something wrong? Daehyun asked. The fear in Kix's voice was making him nervous. Wrong? Kix's voice rose higher. Your species has biology that could be classified as a weapon of war, and you claim it is normal. Yes, something is very wrong. While Kix spoke with the captain, Daehyun noticed something strange happening to the medical equipment around him. The scanner that had been monitoring his vital signs began making odd noises. Sparks flew from one of its panels. The screen flickered and went dark. "What's happening?" one of the medical assistants asked. Kix rushed over to check the machine. He examined it carefully, then looked at Dae-hyun with what might have been horror. His immune system is attacking the scanner's probe. The probe is inside his body, and his biological defenses are treating it as an invader. They are destroying the equipment. "But the probe is made of synthetic materials," the assistant said. "It's not biological. How can an immune system attack it?" "I do not know," Kix admitted. "But it is happening." The door to the medical bay opened. Captain Yoon Seo entered. She was a tall woman with sharp eyes and a commanding presence. She had been captain of the Harmony's Dawn for 5 years, and everyone on board respected her. "Report," she said simply. Kix's form shifted through several colors before settling on a dark blue. "Captain, we have a serious situation." Ensign Da-hyun's biology is far more aggressive than we realized. His DNA contains multiple defensive systems that actively attack foreign objects. Even non-threatening medical devices are being destroyed by his immune response. Captain Yoon Seo looked at Dae-hyun, then back at Kix. "And this is unusual?" "Unusual?" Kix's voice cracked. "Captain, no species in the Galactic Union has biology like this. His body is in a constant state of warfare. Every cell is armed and ready to attack. This level of biological militarization should not exist in a species that claims to be peaceful." The captain was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Kix, I need you to understand something. Taehyun is not special. Every human on this ship has the same biology. Every human everywhere has this same biology. This is what we are." The medical bay fell silent. Even the machine seemed to stop humming. Kix stared at the captain, his crystalline body frozen in place. "All humans?" he finally asked. "All of them are like this?" "Yes," the captain confirmed, "and you knew?" Kix's voice was barely a whisper. "When humanity applied to join the Galactic Union, you knew your biology was weaponized?" Captain Yoon Seo shook her head. "We did not know it was unusual. We had nothing to compare it to. This is simply how life works on Earth." Kix turned to look at Dae-hyun again. The young engineer suddenly felt like a dangerous creature instead of a person. He did not like that feeling at all. "We need to investigate this further," Kix said. "We need to understand what humanity truly is. Because if this is normal for your species, then we may have made a terrible mistake allowing humans into the Union." Dae-hyun's heart sank. He had been so proud to be chosen for this mission, so excited to represent Earth among the stars. And now, because of something in his blood that he could not even see, everything was falling apart. The captain placed a hand on Dae-hyun's shoulder. "Do not worry, Ensign. We will figure this out. Kix, begin a full investigation into human biology. I want answers, but I also want discretion. No need to panic the entire crew until we understand what we are dealing with." Kix nodded slowly, but the dark colors swirling through his crystalline form told Dae-hyun that the medic was already very, very worried. And if he was being honest, Dae-hyun was worried too. Captain Yoon Seo stood in the conference room and looked at the faces around the table. Kix was there, still showing dark, worried colors. 3 other alien medical staff sat beside him. On the other side of the table were 2 human scientists, Jiwoo and Taiman. They both looked uncomfortable. "Let me be clear about why we are here," the captain said. "The medical staff has questions about human biology. Serious questions. I have asked our science team to provide answers. Jiwoo, Taiman, please explain to our colleagues what they are seeing in human DNA." Jiwoo stood up. She was a microbiologist who had studied diseases for 15 years. She had brought a tablet computer filled with information. "Where should I start?" "Start with why human DNA looks like a weapon," Kix said bluntly. "Start with why every cell in your body appears to be designed for warfare." Jiwoo took a deep breath. "Okay. But to understand that, I need to tell you about Earth. Our planet is very different from most worlds in the Galactic Union." She touched her tablet and an image of Earth appeared on the screen. It looked beautiful from space. Blue oceans, green continents, white clouds. "Earth looks peaceful from orbit," Jiwoo continued, "but the surface is a battlefield. It has been a battlefield for 4 billion years. Taiman stood to join her. He was a geneticist who specialized in evolutionary biology. "Every living thing on Earth is constantly under attack. From the moment we are born until the moment we die, our bodies fight thousands of battles every single day." "Battles against what?" one of the alien medical staff asked. Bacteria, Jiwoo said. She pulled up images on the screen. Tiny organisms appeared, magnified millions of times. Earth has trillions of different types of bacteria. They are everywhere. In the air, in the water, in the soil, on every surface. Some are helpful, but many will kill you if they get inside your body. She pulled up more images. Viruses, parasites, fungi, toxins, venoms. Earth is full of things that want to eat you, infect you, or poison you. And that is just from other living things. The environment itself is hostile. Kix leaned forward. Other worlds in the Union have bacteria and some parasites. But you make it sound like Earth is unusual. It is, Taemin said firmly. Most species in the Galactic Union evolved on worlds that were relatively stable and safe. Your worlds had fewer diseases, fewer predators, less environmental danger. Your evolution did not require the same level of defensive adaptation. Jiwoo pulled up a new image. It showed a human body, transparent with different systems highlighted in different colors. Let me show you what human children experience growing up. By age 5, the average human child has been sick dozens of times. Colds, flu, stomach infections, ear infections, rashes, fevers, each illness trains the immune system to fight. You deliberately expose your children to diseases? The alien medical assistant looked horrified. Not deliberately, Jiwoo explained. It just happens. Earth has so many diseases that avoiding them is impossible. Even in our cleanest cities with advanced medicine, children still get sick regularly. It is part of growing up human. Kix's crystalline body had turned an even darker purple. On Velthar Prime, a child getting sick even once is considered a medical emergency. Our environmental controls prevent disease exposure. You are saying human children experience dozens of infections? Yes, Jiwoo confirmed. And that is considered normal and healthy. Those childhood illnesses train our immune systems. They teach our bodies how to recognize and destroy threats. Taemin brought up a new display. It showed cells moving and changing. The human immune system is not just defensive. It is aggressive. It learns, it remembers, it adapts. Every time you encounter a new threat, your immune system creates specialized cells to fight it. Those cells stay in your body forever, waiting in case that threat returns. The immune system has memory? Another alien asked. Like a computer? Better than a computer, Taemin said. A computer stores fixed information. The human immune system stores information and improves on it. Each generation of antibodies is more effective than the last. We call it adaptive immunity. Jiwoo pulled up more data. Let me show you some specific examples of what Kix found in Daehyun's blood. These cytotoxic compounds, they are natural. Every human has them. They are designed to destroy infected cells before disease can spread. They look like poison, Kix said quietly. They are poison, Jiwoo agreed. Poison that we carry in our own blood, ready to deploy against invaders. What about these self-replicating antibodies? Kix asked. The ones that attacked my medical scanner? Taemin nodded. Those are part of our immune response. When the body detects something foreign, it produces antibodies. These are proteins specifically designed to bind to the invader and mark it for destruction. The antibodies multiply quickly, flooding the system until the threat is eliminated. But my scanner was not a biological threat, Kix protested. It was a machine. Your scanner was foreign, Taemin explained. It was inside Daehyun's body. His immune system treated it like any other invader. The antibodies could not tell the difference between your scanner and a parasite. They just knew something did not belong there. Jiwoo brought up another image. This one showed the inside of a human stomach. Let me show you something else. Human stomach acid has a pH level of around 1.5 to 3.5. The aliens looked at the numbers. One of them made a strange sound that might have been a gasp. That is strong enough to dissolve metal, the alien said. Why would you need acid that strong? To kill bacteria in our food, Jiwoo said simply. And to break down the complex proteins we eat. Humans are omnivores. We eat plants and animals. Our digestive system needs to be strong enough to handle both. Most species in the Union are herbivores or consume processed nutrients. Kix said slowly. We do not need such extreme digestive systems. Taemin pulled up more data. Human livers process and neutralize dozens of different toxins every day. Environmental pollutants, chemical compounds in food, waste products from cellular metabolism. The liver is constantly filtering and cleaning the blood. And if the liver fails? An alien asked. Death within days, Jiwoo said. Sometimes hours. The buildup of toxins is that fast. The room fell silent. The aliens were processing this information and they clearly did not like what they were hearing. Let me show you one more thing, Taemin said. He pulled up an image of bone marrow, the spongy tissue inside human bones. This is where we produce blood cells. Every second, the human body creates about 2 million red blood cells. But it also creates millions of white blood cells. These are immune cells. Attack cells, always ready for war. Every second, Kix repeated. Your body is constantly producing weapons. Constantly, Taemin confirmed. Because on Earth, the war never ends. There is always another threat. Another disease. Another danger. Our bodies cannot afford to stop being ready. Jiwoo sat down. She looked tired. I know this is difficult to understand, but you have to realize something important. Humans did not choose this. We did not decide to weaponize our DNA. Earth made us this way. 4 billion years of evolution in a hostile environment created these defenses. We are not aggressive by choice. We are survivors by necessity. Hyun-woo, who had been quietly listening from the corner of the room, spoke up. My grandmother used to say that humans are like swords. We look dangerous, but we were forged that way by the hammering of a cruel world. We did not ask to be weapons. We asked to live. This is what living required. Captain Yoon Seo nodded. Well said. The question now is, what do we do with this information? Kix, you were concerned about allowing humans in the Galactic Union. Do you still feel that way? Kix was quiet for a long moment. His crystalline body shifted through several colors. I do not know, he admitted. Your biology is frightening. But I am beginning to understand it was not designed to threaten others. It was designed to keep you alive. Exactly, the captain said. We are not conquerors. We are survivors. There is a difference. One of the other medical staff spoke up. But what if human biology affects other species? What if your aggressive immune systems or your strong stomach acid or your constant cellular warfare somehow spreads to us? It does not work that way, Jiwoo said gently. Our biology only affects us. We are not contagious. Our immune systems only fight threats inside our own bodies. Are you certain? The alien pressed. Completely certain, Taemin said. We have been living alongside alien species for months now on this ship. Have any of you gotten sick? Have any of you experienced any negative effects from being near humans? The aliens looked at each other. Slowly, they shook their heads. There you go, Captain Yoon Seo said. We are different, yes. Unusual, certainly. But we are not dangerous to you. We are only dangerous to the things that try to hurt us. Kix stood up. His color had shifted to a lighter blue, which meant he was thinking deeply. I need time to process this information. But I will say this. You humans are perhaps the most remarkable species I have ever encountered. Not because you are warriors, but because you survived to become people despite living on a world that tried so hard to kill you. Thank you, the captain said. That means a lot. As the meeting ended and people began to leave, Kix approached Jiwoo and Taemin. I have one more question, he said quietly. If Earth is so dangerous, why do humans speak of it with such love? Why do you miss it? Jiwoo smiled. Because it is our 3 weeks had passed since the investigation. Life on the Harmony's dawn had returned to normal, or at least as normal as it could be. The alien crew members still gave the humans odd looks sometimes, but the fear had mostly faded. Kix had even started joining Dae-hyun for lunch in the mess hall, asking questions about Earth with genuine curiosity instead of worry. Everything changed on a Tuesday morning. The distress signal came from Velthar Prime, the homeworld of Kix's people. Captain Yoon Seo listened to the message on the bridge, her face growing more serious with each word. All ships in range, this is Velthar Prime Emergency Command. We are under biological attack. Unknown hostile force has deployed a weapon that dissolves organic tissue. Our people are dying. Medical facilities are overwhelmed. Please, anyone who can help, we need assistance immediately, the message repeated. In the background, screams could be heard. Set course for Velthar Prime, the captain ordered. Maximum speed. All crew to emergency stations. The ship lurched as the engines pushed to their limits. Through the windows, stars became streaks of light. They would reach Velthar Prime in 6 hours. Kix rushed to the bridge. His crystalline body was flashing red, a color the humans had learned meant extreme distress. Captain, my homeworld, my family. I have to. I know, Captain Yoon Seo said gently. We are going as fast as we can. Tell me what you know about the Cricks. The Cricks were the hostile force mentioned in the distress call. They were a species that had refused to join the Galactic Union. They believed in conquest instead of cooperation. They were also known for using biological weapons. The Cricks have been threatening the outer colonies for months, Kix said, his voice shaking. But we never thought they would attack a core world. We never thought they had weapons this powerful. 6 hours felt like 6 years. The human crew prepared medical supplies. Jiwoo and Taiman reviewed everything they knew about Veltharian biology. Daehyun checked and rechecked the ship's systems to make sure nothing would fail when they arrived. When they finally dropped out of faster-than-light travel, the sight before them made everyone fall silent. Velthar Prime was a beautiful planet, covered in crystal forests that reflected sunlight in a million colors. But now large sections of the planet's surface were dark, dead. The crystal forests had turned gray and were crumbling to dust. "Oh no," Kix whispered. "Oh no, no, no." The ship landed at the main medical complex. Even before the doors opened, they could hear the chaos outside. People screaming, sirens wailing, the smell of death in the air. Captain Yoon Seo divided the crew into teams. Medical personnel with Kix. Engineers work on power systems. Science team analyze the weapon. Everyone else help however you can. And be careful. We do not know if we are immune to this weapon. They rushed out into a nightmare. Veltharian people were everywhere, lying on the ground, propped against walls, crying for help. Their crystal bodies were breaking apart, literally dissolving from the inside. Cracks spread across their surfaces. Pieces fell off. They were dying in agony. Kix ran to the nearest patient, his medical training taking over. He scanned the dying person with his equipment, and his body turned the darkest color anyone had ever seen. "It is a biological weapon," he said, "a pathogen designed specifically to attack Veltharian cellular structure. It dissolves the bonds that hold our crystal matrix together. Once infected, death comes in hours. Can you treat it?" Captain Yoon Seo asked. "No," Kix said, and his voice broke. "We have no defense against this. Our immune systems cannot even recognize it as a threat." Jiwoo was scanning patients with her own equipment. Taemin was taking samples of the pathogen. Around them, more Veltharians were collapsing. The medical staff from the planet were infected too, dying even as they tried to help others. Then something strange happened. One of the Veltharian doctors noticed that the human crew members were walking through infected areas without protective gear. They were breathing the same air, touching infected patients, but none of them were showing symptoms. "Why are you not sick?" the doctor asked. "The pathogen is airborne. You should be infected." Jiwoo stopped. She pulled out her scanner and checked herself. Then she checked Taemin. Then Daehyun. Her eyes went wide. "Captain," she called out, "I need you to see this." The captain came over. Jiwoo showed her the scanner results. "The Crix pathogen is in our lungs," Jiwoo said. "We have been breathing it for the past 20 minutes. But look at what is happening." The scanner showed microscopic warfare. The pathogen was trying to attach to human cells and dissolve them, just like it did to Veltharian tissue. But the human immune system had recognized it as a threat within seconds. Antibodies were flooding the area. White blood cells were attacking. The pathogen was being destroyed faster than it could reproduce. "Our immune systems are killing it," Taemin said. He was looking at his own scan. "We are not just immune. We are actively destroying the weapon." Kix came over, drawn by the excitement in their voices. He looked at the scans. His body went completely still. "Your weaponized DNA," he said slowly. "It is protecting you." "More than that," Jiwoo said. Her mind was racing. She grabbed a blood sample from her own arm and studied it under a portable microscope. "Look at this. My antibodies are not just killing the pathogen in my body. They are learning how to kill it more effectively. Each generation of antibodies is getting better at the job. So what?" One of the Veltharian doctors said desperately. "That helps you, but it does not help us. We are still dying." Jiwoo looked at Captain Yoon Seo. The captain looked back. Between them passed an unspoken understanding. "Yes, it does help you," the captain said. She turned to Kix. "How compatible is Veltharian biology with human biology?" Kix understood immediately what she was suggesting. No, that is too dangerous. Cross-species blood transfusions are risky even in the best conditions. This could kill you both, but it might work?" the captain pressed. "It might," Kix admitted. Human antibodies could survive in Veltharian bodies long enough to fight the pathogen. But the rejection risk is severe. You could die. The patient could die. I cannot recommend this. Captain Yoon Seo stood up tall. You are not recommending it. I am ordering it. Kix, you are the most critical medical staff here. We need you alive. That makes you the first test subject. Captain, Kix started to protest. That is an order, Doctor. Daehyun, you are up. You volunteered for this the day you joined my crew, whether you knew it or not. Daehyun stepped forward without hesitation. Yes, Captain, they worked fast. There was no time for testing or preparation. Jiwoo sterilized equipment. Taemin prepared the transfusion setup. Kix lay down on a medical bed and Daehyun sat beside him. If this goes wrong, Kix said quietly, thank you for trying. It will not go wrong, Daehyun said, but his hand was shaking as the needle went into his arm. His blood, dark red and full of human antibodies, flowed through a tube into Kix's crystalline body. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Kix's body began to glow. Bright, painful light pulsed through his crystal structure. It hurts, Kix gasped. It hurts so much. That is your body fighting, Taemin said. The human antibodies are foreign. Your immune system wants to reject them, but they are also attacking the pathogen. You have to hold on, Kix screamed. It was a terrible sound like breaking glass. His body flashed through every color imaginable. Cracks appeared on his surface. For a horrible moment, everyone thought he was going to shatter apart. Then slowly the cracks began to close. The painful light faded. Kix's color stabilized into a soft blue-green. The pathogen levels are dropping, Jiwoo said, watching her scanner. The human antibodies are winning. They waited. Minutes felt like hours. But Kix's readings continued to improve. His breathing steadied. The dissolution of his crystal structure stopped and began to reverse. After an hour, Kix opened his eyes. I am alive, he said, sounding surprised. I am alive. Around them, dying Veltharians and their doctors had been watching. When they saw Kix recover, hope blazed in their eyes. The humans can save us, someone whispered. The whisper spread through the crowd like wildfire. Captain Yoon Seo raised her voice. All human crew members, you know what needs to be done. We are going to save as many as we can. Hyunwoo stepped forward. Take my blood. Mine too, said Subin, the communications officer. And mine, said Taemin. One by one, every human on the ship volunteered. They sat down in chairs and let the medical staff take their blood. Pint after pint of human blood, filled with aggressive immune systems and weaponized DNA, flowed into dying alien bodies. The transformation was remarkable. Patient after patient stabilized. The pathogen that had seemed unstoppable was being defeated by human biology. Jiwoo made another discovery. She tested contaminated water from the colony's supply. When she added samples of human gut bacteria to the water, the pathogen died within minutes. Our gut bacteria, she explained to the shocked Veltharian doctors. We carry trillions of bacteria in our digestive systems. They are part of our immune defense, and apparently some of them can neutralize this weapon. You carry trillions of living organisms inside your body on purpose? A doctor asked. Not on purpose, Jiwoo said. They just live there. We need them to digest food. They need us to survive. It is a partnership. The doctor looked like this informatio. News traveled fast across the Galactic Union. Within days, every species with access to communication networks knew what had happened on Velthar Prime. The humans had saved an entire world using nothing but their own biology. They had defeated a weapon that should have been unstoppable. The reaction was immediate and divided. Some species celebrated. The Veltharians were especially grateful. They called humans the Crystal Menders and Life Bringers. Statues were being planned. Holidays were being proposed. Kix appeared on every major news broadcast, telling the story of how Daehyun's blood had saved his life. But other species were afraid. The Dreth Collective was the loudest voice of opposition. They were a cautious species, slow to change and deeply suspicious of anything unusual. 3 days after the Velthar Prime incident, they called an emergency session of the Galactic Union Council. Captain Yoon Seo received the summons to appear before the council. She was given 2 days to prepare. She chose Daehyun, Taemin, and Hyunwoo to accompany her. They would represent humanity's case. The council chamber was enormous. It sat at the center of Union Station, a massive space habitat that served as the government's home. The chamber itself was designed to hold representatives from hundreds of different species, each with their own environmental requirements. Some breathed oxygen, some breathed methane, some breathed nothing at all. The room was divided into sections, each with its own atmosphere, all separated by invisible force fields. Captain Yunseo and her team entered the human section. It felt strange to be in a room where they were clearly the subject of discussion. Hundreds of alien eyes watched them. Some looked grateful. Many looked afraid. The council leader, a being made of pure energy contained in a magnetic field, called the session to order. Its voice was translated into every language simultaneously. We are here to discuss the matter of human biology and its place in the Galactic Union. The Dreth Collective has raised concerns. They will present their case first. The Dreth representative stood. It looked somewhat like a large insect, with multiple legs and compound eyes. When it spoke, its voice was sharp and accusatory. The incident on Velthar Prime has revealed something deeply troubling, the Dreth said. Humans possess biology that can be classified as a weapon system. Their immune responses are aggressive enough to destroy pathogens that our best scientists cannot even slow down. This level of biological capability is dangerous. The Dreth pulled up holographic displays showing human cells attacking the Crick's pathogen. To those unfamiliar with biology, it looked violent and frightening. Furthermore, the Dreth continued, humans carry trillions of foreign organisms inside their bodies. Bacteria, viruses, other microscopic life. They claim these organisms are harmless, but we have only their word. What if these organisms escape and contaminate our worlds? What if human biology triggers a pandemic we cannot control? Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some species nodded in agreement. The Dreth Collective proposes that humans be placed under biological quarantine. They should be restricted to their own ships and stations until we can fully understand the risks they pose. For the safety of the Union, we cannot allow weaponized biology to move freely among us. The Dreth sat down. The chamber erupted in discussion. Some species agreed loudly. Others shouted in protest. The energy being that served as council leader had to call for order 3 times. The human representative will now present their response, the leader announced. Captain Yunseo stood. She looked calm, but Daehyun could see her hands gripping the podium tightly. Thank you, council leader. I understand the Dreth Collective's concerns. I truly do, but I believe they are based on a fundamental misunderstanding of what humanity is. She gestured and new holograms appeared. These showed Earth rotating slowly. This is our homeworld. Many of you have seen pictures of it before. It looks beautiful, does it not? Blue oceans, green lands, peaceful clouds. The image zoomed in, showing forests and mountains and oceans teeming with life. But Earth is not peaceful, the captain continued. It is a world of constant struggle. Every organism on Earth has been shaped by 4 billion years of competition for survival. Our planet has endured ice ages, meteor strikes, volcanic eruptions, and mass extinctions. Life on Earth does not survive because it is protected. It survives because it is strong. She pulled up images of human history, ancient humans hunting, farming, building cities, developing medicine. Humans evolved in this environment. We did not choose to have aggressive immune systems. We did not choose to carry bacteria in our guts. These things evolved in us because without them we would have died. Our biology is not a weapon we created. It is armor we were forced to grow. Taemin stood up to join her. If I may add something, Captain? She nodded. Taemin addressed the council directly. I am a geneticist. I have studied evolution my entire career. What the Dreth Collective calls weaponized biology, I call survival adaptations. Every species in this chamber has evolved defenses against the threats in their environment. You, Dreth Collective, have hardened exoskeletons because your homeworld has large predators. The Veltharians have crystalline bodies because their world has high radiation. Every species adapts to survive. He pulled up comparative biology charts. The difference is that Earth's threats were more numerous and more varied than most worlds. Humans needed more defenses, stronger defenses, but these defenses are not aggressive toward other species. They are defensive against diseases and environmental dangers. What about the bacteria you carry? A voice called from the audience. How do we know they are safe? Hyunwoo stood this time. He was not a scientist like the others, but he had a gift for explaining complex ideas simply. I will tell you about the bacteria in human guts, he said. We are born without them. When a human baby is born, its digestive system is empty. Then, as the baby grows, bacteria from the environment move in. They set up home in our intestines. And do you know what they do? He paused for effect. They help us digest food. They create vitamins we cannot make ourselves. They protect us from harmful bacteria by occupying space that dangerous organisms might otherwise fill. Without these bacteria, humans would die. They are not weapons. They are partners. We have lived with them for so long that we cannot live without them. A Veltharian representative stood up. It was one of the doctors who had treated patients on Velthar Prime. I must speak, the doctor said. I was there. I watched my people die. I watched humans save us. The Dreth Collective speaks of human biology as if it is dangerous, but I saw humans use their biology to give life, not take it. They bled themselves weak to save strangers. They risked transfusion rejection to help people they had never met. If this is what weaponized biology looks like, then I welcome it. Other voices joined in. A representative from a species that had also been attacked by the Cricks stood up. We have sent a formal request to the human government on Earth, the representative said. We have asked for human medical personnel to be stationed on our worlds. We want access to human antibodies and human gut bacteria. We see these not as weapons but as shields we desperately need. The Dreth representative stood again. You are being foolish. You are inviting a potential threat into your homes. No, the Veltharian doctor said firmly. We are inviting friends who have already proven they will die to save us. There is a difference. Captain Yoon Seo raised her hand for attention. Council leader, if I may make one final statement. The energy being nodded, a gesture that made its magnetic field shimmer. The Dreth Collective fears human biology because it looks aggressive, the captain said. I understand that. But I ask you to look at human behavior instead of just human cells. Yes, we have strong immune systems. Yes, we carry bacteria. Yes, our bodies are built for survival. But look at what we do with those capabilities. She pulled up footage from Velthar Prime. Humans donating blood. Humans working alongside alien doctors. Humans collapsing from exhaustion but continuing to help anyway. We did not use our biology to conquer. We used it to heal. We did not weaponize our DNA. Earth weaponized us through evolution, and we chose to point that weapon at disease and death, not at other people. Dae-hyun stood. He had not planned to speak, but the words came anyway. I am not special, he said. His voice was quiet, but the chamber's acoustics carried it to every corner. I am not a soldier or a scientist or a hero. I am an engineer who grew up in Seoul. I got sick as a child. I had colds and flu and stomach bugs like every human child. I never thought about my immune system or my gut bacteria or my DNA. I just lived. He looked around at all the alien faces watching him. When I donated blood to save Kix, I was not thinking about biology or weapons or politics. I was thinking that someone was dying and I could help. That is all. Humans are not dangerous because we have strong immune systems. We are only dangerous to the things that try to kill us or kill our friends. And we will always fight to protect life. Because that is what Earth taught us. Not how to destroy. How to survive. And surviving means protecting each other. The chamber fell silent. Then slowly, one of the Veltharian representatives began to tap their appendages together. It was how their species showed approval. Other Veltharians joined in. Then other species added their own forms of applause. The sound grew until it filled the entire chamber. The Dreth representative sat down. 6 months had passed since the council vote. The galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. Dae-hyun stood in the new medical training facility on Union Station. Around him, 30 alien doctors from 12 different species sat in chairs, listening carefully as he explained human immune responses. This was his 4th teaching session this week. He never imagined he would become a teacher, but life had taken him in unexpected directions. The key thing to remember, Dae-hyun said, pointing to a holographic display of human cells, is that human antibodies are aggressive but not random. They only attack things that are marked as threats. When you use human blood or plasma in your patients, you are giving them a temporary army that fights disease but leaves healthy tissue alone. One of the students, a Veltharian named Rix, raised an appendage. But how do we prevent rejection? Your biology is so different from ours. Good question, Dae-hyun said. He pulled up new data. My colleague Jiwoo has been working on that. Show them, Jiwoo. Jiwoo entered the classroom carrying a case of samples. She had changed in the past 6 months. She was more confident now. More comfortable speaking to large groups. She had become one of the Union's leading experts on cross-species immunology. We have developed a process to isolate specific antibodies from human blood, Jiwoo explained. She held up a vial of clear liquid. This contains only the antibodies that target the Crick's pathogen. We have removed everything else. This way, alien immune systems do not see a full human blood transfusion. They only see the specific weapons they need. She demonstrated the process on a holographic display. The alien students watched intently, asking questions, taking notes. This was the future being built. Not a future of human conquest, but a future of human cooperation. After the class ended, Dae-hyun walked through Union Station's corridors. The station had grown significantly in 6 months. New sections had been added to accommodate the increase in human personnel. Everywhere he looked, humans and aliens worked side by side. He passed a medical clinic where Tai Min was consulting with a patient. He passed a laboratory where human and Veltharian scientists collaborated on vaccine development. He passed a cafeteria where humans were teaching aliens about Earth foods, and aliens were teaching humans about their own cuisines. This was integration. Real integration. Not just humans living near aliens, but humans and aliens building something together. His communicator beeped. It was Captain Yoon Seo. Dae-hyun, report to conference room 7. We have a situation. He changed direction and hurried to the conference room. Inside, he found the captain along with Hyunwoo, Subin, and several other crew members from the Harmony's Dawn. Also present were military commanders from 3 different species and a holographic projection of Earth's Secretary of Galactic Affairs. What is happening? Dae-hyun asked. The Crick's bioweapon has appeared again, Captain Yoon Seo said grimly. 3 worlds this time. All attacked simultaneously. We are assembling response teams. The holographic projection showed 3 planets, each marked in red. Population numbers scrolled beside them. Millions of lives at risk. How bad is it? Dae-hyun asked. Very bad, one of the military commanders said. It was a large creature that resembled an armored bear. The Cricks have learned from Velthar Prime. This time they are using multiple variants of the pathogen. Different strains for different species. They are trying to overwhelm us. Subin pulled up tactical displays. She had been promoted to communications director after her work coordinating relief efforts on Velthar Prime. We have 18 human medical teams ready to deploy, but that is not enough for 3 planets. We need more people. Earth is sending reinforcements, the Secretary of Galactic Affairs said. Her hologram flickered slightly as she spoke. 6 ships with full medical crews. They will arrive in 30 hours. Until then, we work with what we have. Captain Yoon Seo looked at her team. This is what we trained for. This is why we are here. Dae-hyun, you will lead Medical Team 3. Subin, coordinate communication between all teams. Hyunwoo, you handle logistics and supply lines. What about me, Captain? It was Taimin, entering the room late. He looked tired. He had been working around the clock in the laboratories. I need you to do what you do best, the captain said. Analyze the new pathogen variants. Find their weaknesses. Help our teams know what they are fighting. Within hours, the response teams were deploying. Dae-hyun found himself on a transport ship heading to a world called Dreth Prime. The irony was not lost on him. The Dreth Collective had wanted to quarantine humans, and now humans were going to save Dreth lives. The ship's pilot, a human woman named Min Soo, navigated through the crowded space lanes. She had been flying for Union missions for 4 months now. She was good at her job. ETA 20 minutes, Min Soo announced. Prepare for atmospheric entry. Dae-hyun looked at his team. 10 humans, all medical personnel. 5 had been on Velthar Prime. 5 were new, fresh from Earth. They all looked nervous but determined. Remember your training, Dae-hyun said. We are not here to be heroes. We are here to help. Do your job, stay safe, and trust your biology. One of the new team members, a young man named Bora, raised his hand. What if it does not work this time? What if the new variants are immune to human antibodies? It was a fair question. A scary question. Then we adapt, Dae-hyun said simply. That is what humans do. We adapt. The ship entered Dreth Prime's atmosphere. Through the windows, they could see cities below. Beautiful cities with architecture that looked like crystallized music. But smoke rose from several districts. Emergency lights flashed everywhere. The planet was under siege. They landed at the central hospital. Dreth medical staff rushed to meet them. The irony deepened when Dae-hyun recognized one of the doctors. It was the same Dreth representative who had argued for human quarantine at the council session. The Dreth doctor looked at Dae-hyun. Its compound eyes reflected embarrassment and desperation in equal measure. "I was wrong about your kind," the doctor said without preamble. "I am sorry. Please help us anyway. We are here to help everyone," Dae-hyun said. "No matter what they said about us before. Let us get to work." The next 72 hours blurred together. Dae-hyun and his team moved through hospital wards, taking blood samples, analyzing pathogens, administering treatments. The new variants were indeed more sophisticated, but Taemin's analysis had been correct. They still had weaknesses that human antibodies could exploit. The process was harder this time. Some patients did not respond to the first treatment. They needed second or third transfusions. Human team members donated blood until they were dizzy and weak. Then they rested briefly and donated again. Bo-ra, the nervous young medic, turned out to be exceptional under pressure. He saved 12 lives in one shift. When Dae-hyun asked him how he stayed so calm, Bo-ra said, "I stopped thinking about the big picture. I just focused on one patient at a time. One person I could help. Then another. Then another. It was good advice." Dae-hyun started doing the same. On the second planet, Hyunwoo coordinated supply deliveries. Food, medicine, and blood plasma flowed from Union Station to the affected worlds. He worked with logistics specialists from 8 different species, creating supply chains that had never existed before. On the third planet, Subin set up a communication network that allowed doctors on all 3 worlds to share information in real time. When one team discovered that a particular antibody combination worked especially well, all other teams knew within minutes. This was not just humans saving aliens anymore. This was cooperation on a scale the galaxy had rarely seen. Veltharian doctors who had learned from Jiwoo were now teaching Dreth doctors. Dreth engineers were improving human medical equipment. Species that had barely spoken to each other before were now working shoulder to shoulder. On the 4th day, Taemin made a breakthrough. He called Captain Yoon Seo with obvious excitement in his voice. "Captain, I have figured out how to boost the effectiveness of human antibodies by 30%. It involves combining them with a compound from Veltharian medicine. The Veltharians have a crystalline protein that stabilizes the antibodies and makes them last longer in non-human bodies. Can we produce this combination quickly?" the captain asked. "Already working on it," Taemin said. "We should have the first batch ready in 6 hours. The enhanced treatment changed everything. Patients who had been deteriorating began to stabilize. Death rates dropped. Hope spread through the hospitals. By the end of the week, all 3 planets were declaring the crisis contained. The Krix bioweapon had been defeated again. The Krix themselves had retreated even further, apparently realizing that their biological warfare was no match for a galaxy that had learned to work together. Dae-hyun stood in a Dreth hospital, watching the sunset through a window. He was exhausted. He had not slept properly in days, but he felt good. He felt like he had made a difference. The Dreth doctor who had once called for human quarantine approached him. "I owe you more than an apology," the doctor said. "I owe you my life, and the lives of my people." "You do not owe me anything," Dae-hyun said. "I was just doing my job." "No," the doctor insisted. "You were doing more than a job. You came here knowing I had spoken against your kind. You saved us anyway."